Committee.
The committee. The committee put their heads together and they start their own thing.
Hey y'all, it's Izzy Harrison and you're tapping in with the committee.
What's up guys, this is Azrae Stevens and you're tapping in with the committee.
Big shout out to the committee. Y'all hold it down for us.
Shout out to the committee. Who I'm rocking with the committee. The committee. We committee.
Some people ain't gonna like it, and some people will.
Welcome. I need a
welcome into this place.
Yes. Don't get me started.
Welcome into this broken vessel. Amen.
All right. Thank you all for joining us to this vessel. Glory. Amen. Amen. But for real though, thank you all for joining us today. 7 days after my birthday. Today is January 14th. And I did miss and forget to call my dad for his birthday 2 days ago. But it's okay. I texted him and I left him a voicemail. Love you, Dad, if you're watching and listening to this. So I know, right? I real ones. Darn. But we've had some exciting basketball over the past week. We've had some exciting news. We've had some exciting, pre-debut basketball league content, some teaser content. So everybody's just been doing everything over the past week, and so we're excited. So as always, we're going to start off tonight's episode with what was your favorite game of the past week?
Dun 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 dun.
Let's see. Go Cubs.
When did that was mine?
I was trying to find my banner. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
I think that was
I got my class ring.
It's my homer pick. That was definitely my homer pick game.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Southern Cal and Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland, Southern Cal was
that game.
Entertaining game though.
The Shea Bowl.
Damn, that was this week.
It was a long week.
I had to look and see when the week started, but yes, that was Wednesday.
Long week.
Damn. It was a good game up until the end when them girls start shooting them badass shots.
Agreed.
And I'm surprised because Maryland, because I give Brenda more credit for them to be taking them wild ass shots like they was taking. Like they literally took them out of the game.
Shay got an ISO the room.
My theory is that when people see Ju come in, they want to go band for band with Ju, and it is a trap. That is why, and I appreciate Kiyomi being like, hey, I want to play against JuJu, but that's why. People want to go band for band with Ju. And Cheyenne was hooping in that third. The problem is you got to do it 4 quarters. And a lot of people, it's only, 3 other people that play both sides of the ball 4 quarters a game. Ju, Hannah, Betts, and Latson.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, it takes stamina to do that. And Maryland got caught in that, I'm going to go band for band with her, and now you jacking them shots.
So it's not Brenda's fault.
Like, what the hell are y'all doing?
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Brenda. I take it back, girl. I still love you. I love you, Brenda. Please, girl, I love you.
I think I know what it was, because what did Rob say? If she had on that full cream suit, I think she had on cream and black, right? So she didn't put on the full cream suit.
Put the full cream on.
Messed it up.
I say that game told me more about Maryland than them winning would have. And the reason I say that is because they competed. Like when you get down in a game like that, sometimes if you're, especially after having some down seasons, you may just like lay over and die. But they competed. Like the comeback was watching them, like, because Michael started terrible. I mean, I think she didn't score until the third quarter, or only had like 2 points into the third quarter. So watching them stay in it until Michael could kind of figure it out. Then Shy, of course, did her thing. Bree definitely kept them in the game the entire first half. So just watching all their pieces start to kind of understand it. And this is the type of game where, like, in March or in late February, you can look back on that experiences and say, had we executed, we win the game. And you know those games where it's like we just lost, the better team won. I don't think this is one of those games. This is one of those games where, like you say, if we execute like we know we can execute, we win the game. And when you do it against a team like USC, it should give you some confidence. So I think it told me a lot about Maryland in a really good way. So I'm excited for them.
Because I honestly thought they had a chance, especially with JuJu fouling out. Like, JuJu fouled out with like over a minute to go.
Oh, I think it was later than you thought, like 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Okay. But I just thought they had like a chance with her out the game, but they didn't capitalize because they made like 3 turnovers in a row, and they just couldn't even get a shot off. And I was just like, "Come on, Maryland!" Like,
exactly. Not only was Ju in foul trouble, Kennedy also was in foul trouble. You got them both with 4 fouls, and y'all jacking up threes. Like,
and to me, that also speaks to, yes, Maryland has a lot of guards, and yes, they technically have a point guard, but they don't have a true point guard. And the same thing can be said for USC. And I think that's where both teams weren't able to pull away or execute when they needed to. Because honestly, USC's job late was made easier by Maryland not executing on offense. Like USC was getting buckets late that would have been the hardest buckets for them to get early on because Maryland was turning it over and they were just getting into their offense easy. They had the mismatch. Ray was knocking down post-ups because people weren't ready to switch. It was just a complete and utter collapse. And I hope that Brenda uses this as an opportunity to, like, I'm going to put your ass on the big screen. Like, you look terrible.
Okay.
They almost had a little collapse today, but they pulled it out.
They did. So you all mentioned, though, those were your favorite games of the week. Which, I'm going to say your worst games, but I would say what were some shockers for you? Like, what had you sitting there, if any, like, what the fuck?
I enjoyed the Tennessee LSU game.
That was a good one.
That was a good game. That was a really good
it had
game.
Its moments, but it was a good back.
The part that had me at what the fuck was Tennessee in that last?
Oh, brother!
Wait, y'all gotta make sure I get to my car.
Oh, my bad. Okay, we won't talk about the SEC. Sorry,
your screen frozen, so I don't. Is her screen
to the car?
Lord Jesus.
I can't even tell if she making it.
Somebody said talk about Georgia Tech. We can talk about Georgia Tech.
That game
insane.
Like, literally crazy.
I don't even know how Georgia Tech kept getting it to go to another overtime because Virginia was like
exhausted when it was time.
It was a great game. I enjoyed it. I thought Virginia did what they needed to do. They executed down the stretch. Georgia Tech being, coming from undefeated, obviously no slouch. So they kept fighting their way back in it. You could tell they were fatigued, and they said some of the players were dealing with some nagging injuries here and there. But it was a good game. It was chaotic in a good way. Like, I enjoyed it.
But Virginia Tech that was, to me, it proved that, like, the ACC isn't the top conference in the country, but their middle of the pack girlies
it's going to be a battle.
Some bows. Like, Lil Wenzel, she did not look like that when that other man was there. Like, baby girl is a dog. Like, she is a pure hooper. And Michonne, they didn't have nothing for her. Like, nothing for her. But I will say I applaud Georgia Tech for the fight. Like, they could have lost that game on purpose a few times.
And they were down pretty bad
the whole time.
They had to fight to get back. Yeah. And then they got down again in the first overtime and had to fight to get back. And then they got down in the second one and they just didn't have nothing left. But
so she should have been in the group chat. It's crazy.
But Georgia Tech is also a product of that live by the 3, die by the 3 that we talk about. Like, it got them undefeated up until that point, and they got them into overtime. But baby, it got them into the second.
About Cal also. That could be a team where they have a lot of 3 attempts, but then when you get into more physical, like, will they have enough to combat that? So Cal was able to win. I think Cal knocked off
NC State and Florida State.
So Florida State, SMU, and NC State. Oh God, and SMU.
They lost to SMU.
I know, but no, Cal beat SMU, but SMU turned around and what is it, 31, 32
They
points?
scored no points in the third quarter.
I don't know how you do that, like, at all, bro. Like, none.
Ask Ole Miss. South Carolina did it to them.
Oh, yeah. Dang.
It was almost
Didn't
UConn
they
too.
ain't scored 2 points?
No, you remember they only scored 2 points in the half
Oh, yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of teams living and dying by the three, that happened twice for the SEC.
Tennessee and Oklahoma.
And Oklahoma.
Yes.
Like, Oklahoma lost to Mississippi State, which was not shocking at all for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I was not shocked at all. Mississippi State, great defensive team. They get in your grill, and it was at Mississippi State too, and they have a lot of energy at home. I don't think it was a fluke that they came out and punched South Carolina in the mouth early, and South Carolina had to, like, spin their wheels and be like, okay, let me get my shit together. And that's what they did to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma couldn't adjust. So that was a good game. I was not shocked at all. And obviously Tennessee.
Well, let's segue this to Wait on Low, but I just can't not speak about it. There is no fucking reason in hell to press a team in a 2-point game with less than 5 minutes on the clock if you were ahead. There's just no reason to do that. There's just no, if you cannot strap up and defend in the half court, or if you cannot sit in your offensive set and run some plays to take time off the clock, you are not serious about winning games. And
But the thing is, I'm sorry, I had to jump off for this. I think that Tennessee could absolutely sit in the half court defense and do decent. They have the athletes, they have the length. They I don't think it'd be bad. Now she would have to have them disciplined to do it, but I think they absolutely can.
So being able to and not doing it is criminal.
Now I don't know if they practice it, because she do kind of be saying they kind of like discipline sometimes in so many words.
Yeah, I guess. I
wasn't a fan of the press because it was just getting beat. Like, Gilbert was beating the press by herself. And I feel like at some point you gotta be like, all right, but you're like, when Tennessee got back in the game, it's because they went to their half-court defense. It wasn't the best half-court defense, but it still slowed LSU down. It made LSU think. It made LSU take some tougher shots. But when they were doing that full-court press, baby, Flage and Gilbert was eating that press up. Like, it was just like they weren't even waiting for Tennessee to get set up, which is what a lot of other teams sometimes would do when they played Tennessee earlier on this year. But as soon as the ball went through the bucket, catch, outlet, gone, boom, every single time. And at that point, I was like, all right, coach, you gonna switch it up? Like,
I'm tired of seeing teams.
I'll even take a little zone at this point because Tennessee don't shoot the ball well. Give me something different.
I'm tired of seeing teams press that can't press.
Correct.
Just get back at the half court and get ready, girl. Like, it's enough.
Or a delayed press. Do something, like make it a little different. Like, I think in this situation, do I think Tennessee lacks the discipline? If the coach says so, sure. However, you are the head coach of that team. You practice with them. Spend some time and work on it. Like, even just being able to go into it as an option with the depth that they have should be able to do a little bit better than what they just did. And in a big game like that, you don't just die by what was killing you. You at least try to live by something that could potentially help you. Like, you rotating all these players in anyways. Spend some time, because to me the advantage they had over LSU in that matchup was their length and their depth. Because Jersey couldn't really do anything. Samaya was kind of not present. Literally the Anissa, KG, Flage, Michaela-ish. That's 4 players. You rotating 10 players in easily. So you sit on them, make them run sets, make them get off screens, make them attack the basket through contact. You pulling energy from them, and you keep your offense. You keep varying up the speed, and then they got to adjust to you. That game, once they got in the lead, it became easy for LSU. Like, Kim Mulkey did not have to coach that. She did not have to coach getting the ball, passing it to the next man. They take it to the hoop. And they were making uncontested layups on the other end. Like, You just made it easy for the other team. And then to make it worse, when Tennessee got the ball on their end, they was shooting the first thing coming.
Shot selection was not great at all. And it reminded me of like the one thing I get really annoyed with any team. It could be my favorite team or even a team I don't like. When you're down 2 and people trying to make the big shot, right? Like you've been down the whole game and there was every time Tennessee got close and they were down 2, somebody took a dumbass 3, like a stupid 3. And I'm just like, you just attacked the rim. There was a moment where Jules Spare went to the rim like twice in a row. Easy. Talasia, back flauge down, nice little mid range. Easy. You getting back into the game by going in the paint. And then when you down 2, you say, fuck it. Contested 3, break. And it goes to, LSU going to get another bucket, and now you down 4. Like, shot selection. And this isn't just a Tennessee thing. That's in college in general. Like, everybody's shot selection this year has been a little...
Can I speak to that?
It's been really bad.
Because you want to know why? I think it is very much the Caitlyn and the JuJu effect.
Yes.
Where we see a whole lot of people that see the gravity and the attention that they have created, and they are like, oh shit, okay, I'm going to try to do what they do. And I'm going to see it. The problem is those are 2 generational kids. You don't wake up scoring 30 points a night. It don't happen like that. Otherwise, everybody would do it. And I was thinking, like, who are other players who could even match that? And in recent memory, it would be who? Enrique and Kennedy?
Yeah.
But otherwise, there's a big gap between, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I think that they've given people this impression that it's easy to do what they do, and it's really fucking not.
And it's hard to do on a winning team. Because when you say Caitlyn and JuJu effect, people think, oh, this homegirl over down the street dropping 30 on a losing team. To have the Caitlyn and JuJu effect on a winning team is somewhat strategic. Like, is in some ways like a conscious choice and a conscious decision, so that everybody is aware of what's going on. But you trying to do the Caitlyn and JuJu and ain't nobody in rebounding position. You trying to do the Caitlyn and JuJu and y'all not ready to get back. Like, everybody else is making a sacrifice for Caitlyn and JuJu to be Caitlyn and JuJu. And then it just allows them the confidence to be the great players that they are. In this situation, you can only win by team ball. Like, Tennessee is as good as they are because they have a bunch of bodies that are leading scorers each night. Like, one game this season, Samara Spencer was the leading scorer. Talasia, of course, leads, I think, average-wise, and Joe Spear, of course. But they rotate. There's never a point where, like, it's one of them that is getting the job done solely every game. And that's where I think when you look at South Carolina and you get those posts when people are like, well, Don not letting generational players be generational, that's why Don is successful and your team maybe is not, because Don has found a way to get 10, 11, 12 5-stars to buy into 8 and 5, 12 and 6, maybe a one-off 20 and 10, but all that is happening knowing that everybody else is involved and has a vital role. And that's just as hard as playing with a Caitlyn and JuJu.
Yeah. It's multiple ways to skin a cat, right? It's like Don's way is obviously successful. JuJu and Caitlyn's is more of like a pro thing where it's like, I have this superstar and I'm building my pick and rolls, my dribble handoffs, my ecosystem around them, right? So both ways are successful, but at the college level, team ball is probably more of the correct way to go because you don't just have generational scorers growing on trees.
Yeah.
And I think some people got to look in the mirror and say, hey, scoring 30 points tonight, that shit ain't easy.
It ain't
and you remember when Deja Kelly was like, a few years ago, was like, oh, well, if I was able to take that many shots, something along those lines. The problem is you got to get that a many amount of shots off, and you got to make a decent amount of them to score 30 points a fucking night. It's a lot of people who can't do that.
And you got to be prepared to do it against the best defender on the other team.
Exactly, because Jew is held and
that's what I was going to mention. Like, I know you all said that the Caitlyn and JuJu effect, but do we also think that we're going to see an uptick, especially getting deeper into the conference play? A lot of people haven't played their best teams yet in conference.
Correct.
So do we see those teams that maybe have those players that could possibly be capable of going off for those 20-ish plus points a game performances? Do we see them trying to chuck up even more shots? Hypothetically, well, when Tennessee will probably have to play a South Carolina. We know that a lot of teams always want to go up against either the top teams in the conference, top teams in the country, or their former teams. Those things, all of those things exist when they play South Carolina for Tennessee. They have Malaysia. Boom. That was her former team. Went to a Final Four with them. Boom. They're the top team currently in the conference. So it's like, and it's probably going to be a national TV game. I want to get my rocks off. That could have been the case against LSU. LSU has all of this motion. So they were like, let me get off doing the motion. We could see the same when Indiana and the USC plays, or we know Kiyomi wanted to play because it was JuJu. So do we see that getting, I guess, becoming more prevalent as the conference play winds on?
I do, but guess what? You wouldn't have to do that if you played a tougher non-con schedule, because the bar would be set already.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the ACC is weak, but Hannah don't have to be like, oh, I'm about to go out here and fucking have to do
it versus everybody.
You ate
right.
that.
That's facts.
So it is what it is. If you
didn't have to wait for
conference
play, yeah,
right now conference play, you like shit. Ain't nobody talking about me on the national stage. JuJu's coming to town. South Carolina's coming to town. Tennessee's coming to town. I got to get my rocks off because otherwise I'm forgotten.
And I think that speaks to, like, you're almost making yourself the underdog, and you created it. Like, you told, like, you've created this illusion that you're this good team that nobody knows about. Well, they're gonna show the teams that are good. You never have an issue finding good matchups on ESPN. And when you play tough, it inclines them to move you to a major network. So if you're trying to make a name for yourself, you might need to talk to your coach too, because the same way you can make a name for yourself in those big matchups in a positive way, you can get taken off some draft boards too in a negative way in those big matchups. And I think that, no shade, no tea, is kind of what happened to Texas in this matchup. Their toughest non-con was against Notre Dame. They played them tough. But Hannah was a star. I mean, like, Notre Dame got it done. So then you come to South Carolina, and now you got a head coach and players saying, well, we weren't prepared. Well, it's hard to be prepared when you ain't got punched in the mouth in non-con. You played a close one with Notre Dame. You didn't get punched. Y'all were punching back and forth. South Carolina said, this is my shit. Boop. And they could never get back. And when you have the players like the Madison Bookers, the Rory Harmons, they gonna want to get it back in blood. So then you finish the game and you 3 for 20.
And I think also what caught them up, like when it was the unexpected players. I think everybody prepped for Powell, Kits, and maybe Malaysia. Didn't really take, offensively. They're like, well, we're not gonna worry about Raymond. That's what they were probably saying. Right. Not taking into account her defense. But then you have Breezy and Sanaya, like, what the, in that video, we all saw the video. Maddie was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? No, what the fuck? That's her first time playing that team. I don't know if Glory was there.
She was hurt.
That was all the first time, right? Okay, so that's her first time playing South Carolina. So it's like when you don't know what to expect, or you can't scout everybody, like, you really don't know how to go into these games. So I guess it is really, like they all said, a lack of preparation.
And to be honest, the reason LSU can get by with their lack of scheduling for to a certain extent is because of Ken. Like, in their lack of preparedness, Clint, she hitches her wagons when it's crunch time. And if you pay attention to LSU, or even back in her Baylor days, she knows who to give the ball to in crunch time, which is why she portals the way she portals. There's a reason why Chloe Jackson won a title there. There's a reason why she brought Ted Cooper there. There's a reason why she goes after the Alexis Morrises and now the KGs. Because if you listen to her, I got Flajay, I got Anissa, but when I want to win the game, the ball's going in KG's hands. Mm-hmm. And I trust KG to either take the shot or make the right pass. And that's why she put such an emphasis on players like KG, is because I know we're going to defend. Kim can always bank on her defense, and she can bank on staying in the game because of it. So all I got to do is keep it close late and let my great player go be great. And then I know that we're more than likely going to get a rebound if they miss the shot too. So it's like she has all of her safety nets in place. That's why Dawn coaches the way she does. She coaches to a safety net. If we getting down, baby, you can't go out there doing 2K. Come sit down.
Yeah.
Like, even in the Texas matchup, she was like, I was worried about her rebounding. Like, safety net. Same with UConn and Gino. That's kind of why he keeps saying, I want more from Paige, because he's used to a system. Like, if I put these players in my system, we can win. What do you do when that system gets shifted? And that's where the Tennessees, the Oklahomas, some of these other teams that could be good aren't good because they haven't found a way to like put a safety net on what they can do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that.
I have a game that I want to play since we're talking about the conferences and we're talking about everybody and their shots and everything like that. So we're going to do performers and fakers.
Oh,
each conference.
Ooh,
I like that.
Performers, and so far, who are the fakers in
as
that
a
conference?
team or a player? Like
That's a team.
Team, okay.
Because y'all try to be messy by saying players.
I didn't have nobody in mind when I was asking. I was just asking to make sure.
Team 52. So we're going to start out west, Big Ten. We can't.
Staying out west in the Big Ten.
Is out west, right? So
crazy.
we're going to start with the widest conference. So
I like
the Big
that.
Ten. Who is the performer and who so far has been a faker?
Somebody beat us to.
Oh, damn. I would say Ohio State is the fakers in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Maryland, USC, and UCLA are the performers, but Ohio State is the fakers.
Why are Ohio State fakers to you?
Just because they are a team that cannot afford to not schedule tough because of the way they play. They are very similar to the Tennessees and the Oklahomas of the world. And their starting point guard is a true freshman. Their two guard is a transfer. Cody will foul herself out of a big game quick as I can wipe my ass. And they only have one big that can hang with the of the best players to handle mistakes from the best players. And I think in a matchup against USC, that basically nixes Cody because JuJu gonna take that. Then you got Kiki Iriafen. Petty don't even know what that looks like because they haven't scheduled that type of matchup. And then you got a true freshman, and they're probably going to put the other freshman from USC, what I'm going to say, Kennedy, on her. That's a different type of length and deep. I just got
excited for that matchup.
I don't think Ohio State has the safety net to beat those teams. Like these are matchups. The Maryland one, the USC and UCLA games are games that they literally would have to play perfect ball and hope that the other teams are struggling. And I don't think that happens with any of those matchups. But that's why they're a faker for me because they're undefeated right now. Like if they had 2 losses, I wouldn't call them a faker. But you're undefeated.
I'm going to say that I agree with someone in the chat that said UCLA is a faker. Not that I think UCLA is a great team, and I do think that they deserve.
Well, they don't come after you with pitchforks.
But
they already don't
here's why, because y'all know me. I hate weak scheduling. I think UCLA is living off of their win versus South Carolina and has not played.
I mean, I think that's facts, though. I don't think
and I don't like it. I hate weak schedules. I complain about everybody weak schedules, so this is nothing new. I don't like when teams just live off of that one big win, and then it's like, now we're not playing anybody yet, so everybody's just like, like you got teams like South Carolina constantly winning these big games, Notre Dame winning big games, who else has won big games? UConn winning some, losing some, whatever, but at least they're challenging themselves
to get
an idea of who these teams are. But with UCLA, it's just like all I got to hold my hat on is you beating South Carolina. And to me, that's not enough because South Carolina isn't the only good team out there. So they fakers until they play somebody else tough.
But this is my counter argument. There are some times when having a weak schedule does not matter, in my opinion.
It matters to me.
I'll say that is because I think when you look like UCLA looks, it's the same thing we said about South Carolina. The only way they lose is if they beat themselves.
But I feel like for me, I got that impression with South Carolina because South Carolina looked like they look consistently versus tough people. Like, we've never seen these past several years, we've never seen South Carolina be dominant and not be dominant by going through a tough stretch. Last year, I respected their undefeated. Like, if I had to put their undefeated season and say, if, up to these undefeated teams right now, I'm unimpressed. Last year, South Carolina went through a gauntlet to be undefeated. They didn't just, play nobodies and then became undefeated. Even the UConn teams that used to go undefeated, those teams used to play the best teams, but they used to beat them. So I can say you're tough because you're playing people, but just being South Carolina, that's not enough for me. Like, I need to see more. And we'll see more from them as, Big Ten goes on. But right now,
I would add that even with South Carolina, I feel like it also seems like a lot of people aren't really even high on the South Carolina team. Every time they play, it's, well, I don't know, and this is this, and this is this. So if it's holding so much weight for one team, how is it still a question? But I'm not saying they're fakers, but I'm just adding to Giannis' point in that if people are like, matter of fact, we saw the poll came out. UCLA had however many votes.
29.
South Carolina had none for first place. Notre Dame had 2 for first place. So if you're not holding South Carolina to I think they're really, really good. They're really good this year. Then how can that make South Carolina hold that much weight for?
Yeah,
that's just the ad. Now,
both of y'all ate with that.
Okay, Shay, who your performers?
I'm not gonna hold y'all. We was faking to start the season. The Trojans, we was faking. Now I think we've been able to build some chemistry, and with Kennedy back, that helps a lot. But we was faking But I think that we're trending in the right direction right now. So I got.
But they had a dual role.
Yeah, I think they're trending right. I give you that. I agree with you, Shay.
Like that, okay. That Notre Dame game, I was like, oh, bitch, I won't be watching this ghetto shit. But I think that they've been able to come along as a team. That's the only one I think is like, I don't know. The rest of the Big Ten is kind of like, whatever. I don't know. I mean, that UCLA USC game is going to tell us a lot.
But even then, it is.
It'll tell me if it's a close game. It'll tell me if UCLA is legit or not, because they haven't had a game where they've been punched yet. Like, they knocked South Carolina in the mouth, and South Carolina never responded.
And they owe us a lick.
Yeah,
they owe us.
Y'all got their ass last year.
Yeah, they owe us a lick.
Because when somebody hurt, y'all still won.
Yeah, Rhea didn't play when they came to USC. Rhea didn't play, and they still lost.
And that sounds so silly.
It's silly. Yeah.
No, and that's no shade to Southern Cal. But
let's see. Right. So it won't be till the end of this month. They have Maryland, Minnesota, Ohio State. Then they go to Oregon, and then they have USC, Michigan State. That's going to be probably the best stretch to see what they're made of, because 5 out of the 6 games are against ranked opponents, and they're all different opponents. So, like, some conferences, you see each other within the 2 days, or they're used to seeing each other in the same weekend. Yeah, but they used to do like those coastal trips. Like, they will go, okay, we will have Washington State, or then we'll have Washington State. They'll come to us that next weekend. And so now you have to plan for somebody else every night. So that'll be pretty interesting to see what it's going to look like.
One thing, sorry, but can I interject? One thing I want to say, this is not basketball related. To all the UCLA people, I hope y'all straight, because I know the Fires is right up there where that school is with people who don't know. So I don't know if they had to evacuate, but I know it was on the perimeter. So I hope y'all look good up there. Basketball shit aside, I hope everybody's straight.
That is, I was just talking to Jade about it today, and I genuinely don't think I fully understand it, because it's so consuming.
Yeah, I can't grasp it.
Like, I came to LA one time, and my hotel was, of course, by the airport, but then I drove downtown, and then I did some stuff at Malibu, and I know that was like 45 minutes worth of travel. So I don't think it doesn't register like how much is burned. I know somebody said it was like the entire, bigger than Manhattan, like, which is
Charleston, downtown Charleston to Columbia.
It's
Or
gone.
like
Downtown Charleston to Orangeburg.
Orangeburg, like Orangeburg.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
still
that's still a lot. Downtown Charleston to
That's a lot.
Orangeburg. And maybe what do you get to, like, maybe not all the way to where CLA is, but like Camden and some Swans. Yeah, so it's far. That's a lot of ground that was covered.
Prayers from the committee. Y'all are in our prayers. I hope that everyone is able to evacuate if they need to. I hope that you're able to retain some memorables. Nothing but love for y'all.
No, real shit. And I'm here in LA, so if people need resources, help, or whatever, I will help whichever way I can. But yeah, go ahead, B.
All right, next
So we're going to go to the Big 12. An interesting conference, because I think at the start of the season we mentioned how we didn't know what that was going to look like. It was up for grabs, especially with Texas and Oklahoma departing. As of right now, we're 23 seconds away from a 4-12 Houston team beating a 14-2 number 24 ranked Oklahoma State team. Baylor has already beat Utah tonight. So the Big 12 is pretty interesting. And I remember I just made a tweet about Houston and their coach over the weekend, saying how that's probably one of the hottest seats in all of college basketball. So who's your, if any, who is your performer in the Big 12, and who is there?
Look at what Donovan said.
The whole conference. I agree.
I mean,
and it hurts to say that because I was very like Iowa State finna come back, ready to rock the boat this year, and it hurts a little bit, but whole conference.
Their highest ranked right now is a Kansas State, but we also know that Kansas State hasn't really played much of anyone yet. They did beat Utah, and they lost to Duke earlier this season.
Only thing I'll say about Kansas State, I do think the entire conference is fakers. This year, different than any other year, when Ayoka goes out, in my opinion, they look better.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah.
Because they have, like, on the perimeter, everybody's over 6'1", literally everybody. And they have a transfer who is money from the 3-point line, but they've got another transfer from Louisville who's very SEC, ACC guard coded and can get to the rack. So they've got this like diversity of talent where if they play a team where the white girls need to be white women, or if they play a team where the two black girls need to get it out of the mud, or if they play a team where Ayoka needs to drop 45. Like, they can win in different ways this year, which is something that they haven't had prior. And I remember that Duke game. They should have won that game, in my opinion. So are they fakers? Yes. But do I think they can make a Sweet 16 Elite 8 this year? Yes.
And what's up with all of these?
For sure.
I know we talked about SMU earlier with that scoreless third quarter. Going back to the game that just ended, Houston did beat Oklahoma State, so they picked up a ranked win. They were outscored in the fourth quarter, though. They had a big lead. It was like 20-point lead. They were outscored in the fourth quarter 34-17. Like, you almost gave up a 20-point lead to Oklahoma State. Like, everyone's blowing these large leads. Like, against some teams, no leads are safe. So the Big 12 does look, I guess, collectively as a bunch of fakers. But with the bright spot, I guess, being TCU and Kansas State.
Yeah,
and TCU really a bright spot?
I think TCU is going to be a very matchup-wise team in March Madness. If they're in the right bracket, I can see them making it to the Elite 8-ish, but they got to play the right teams. And that means you might need somebody on the other side of the bracket to lose for you to play, like, the right team, because they have some pieces, but it just depends.
No, Vonleh knew better than
she did it on herself.
Y'all know that's her fault. Because what would make you say I'm going to Baylor right now and that's going to pay off for me? And I'm really not trying to be shady, but let's be honest. What would make you say, like, yes, I'm going to go to Baylor and I'm going to use my last year as a big and I'm going to do a really good job?
Yeah. Well, I will give them a modicum of grace. They have started to find form in conference play, even though it's a weak conference. I mean, the win over Utah is a solid win because it's a ranked team. I think we'll know more about them once they get against TCU and Kansas State, but she did it on herself. You knew not to go there.
Okay. And we're going to go to the ACC.
Performers, Notre Dame.
I'm gonna give North Carolina a performer.
Only reason why I slightly wanted to take them off that shit was because that damn Duke game, but I will allow it.
Yeah, but you know, rivalries do get nasty sometimes. So I'm a
That game honestly reminded me of the South Carolina Miami game.
Miami game. That was sweet. Don said we said basketball.
I was like, ugh.
There y'all go.
Duke's starting to look like a faker to me, man.
Duke,
Like,
yeah.
For sure. Not starting. They are a solid.
I don't know what happened because they started the season offensively so strong. And I know
that's what happened.
But it's just weird to see their offense go from a little bit more fluidity to just
nothing. And it's like, because I know even with South Carolina, like our offense can hum sometimes, and sometimes that bitch sinks. But it's like we can still find a way to have some kind of something. You would think with Duke's defense, they could be the same way, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams in the country are either 3-year layup. I know we used to talk hella shit about Utah coach who said it publicly, but to me, it feels like a lot of these coaches are moving into that analytic space of like not getting to the mid range. And if you look at like the Reagan Richardsons, the Ashton Jacksons of the world, they are either making a three, making a layup, nothing in the middle. And I think that's a big issue with their offense is that when the three ball is falling, then the post can get active, then there's more space and they look good, but they don't make an attempt to get to the mid range when that's not falling. They're not the only team that does it, but I think that's where my frustration comes with them offensively is everybody can look good when the three ball is falling.
Why would Bree put that in the chat?
Like, my God, sister.
Okay.
So, I won't say. I don't want to call Louisville fakers right now because
they were never a performer.
They're never, and they're young. Now North Carolina State.
Westmore is the faker.
Yes,
he's the like.
And I'm gonna say it every time. I don't know why more of these media people who like to say this and this about certain coaches still don't say shit about Westmore. It's always, well, he was their guy. They do not call him out. They do not put his feet to the fire. They do not hold him accountable. He is terrible. The way that team with those talented people, the talented guards, they up and down, they left, they right. Sometimes they look like stars. Sometimes they look so. Sometimes Zoe, is it Zoe or Zoe? Zoe. Sometimes she looks great. Sometimes she looks like she's never played basketball before. Sometimes Azaya is on and she just goes. Sometimes Sanaya is doing this and sometimes she's fucking not. Like, it's never.
It's not P.
It's not like nobody will ever call him out, and I do not understand it. The defense isn't good. The sets don't be good sometimes. It just looks like a clusterfuck a lot of the time. And I genuinely do not understand. I don't get it. Why does nobody ever be like, oh, maybe he done lost his touch, or oh, what the hell do he got going on? Like, nobody ever says anything about it, and that's insane to me.
So my hot take for the day is Notre Dame is a pretender. The reason I say that
is the greatest thing, God.
Because post players win championships, not guards. And Hannah, O'Miles, Sonia are great, like best in the country trio on the perimeter. Liatu, solid, crazy solid. Like the reason they've won a lot of their big matchups.
I like her a lot.
But what happens when the other team takes their center out of the game? the TCU matchup. And no, they didn't have Westfield, but we saw Westfield in real time. It wasn't out of this world. And so, in my opinion, come tournament time, they don't have the margin for error that people think they have.
Like, I can see that.
They definitely don't have.
I saw people saying like Notre Dame looks like a number one team in the country. They beat, UConn. They beat USC. To Shay's point, USC was a pretender at that point. And my other point is that UConn ain't them girls. So their two best wins in the country are while they're solid. And yes, they beat Texas too, but South Carolina just whooped that ass. So while they've done well, they're not without flaws. Those flaws just haven't been exposed because of who they played. So they're pretenders until proven otherwise.
Ooh.
And they
what
won't
I will say is
test in the conference. So that just holds off some tests until it's money time.
What I will say is the only thing is that I do agree that post players win championships, but ain't a lot of dominant post players this year.
And that's the point. The teams with them are the ones that are more inclined to win a title.
Okay.
That's why I'm not willing to say, like, that's why the UCLA pick is up there. And that's why USC Trojans are still somewhat of a title contender. That's why I think South Carolina's always in the conversation. Because while all three of those teams have three different types of bigs or three types of different big rotations,
as a collective,
what value do they hold? And when I look at Notre Dame, because the emphasis is so much on guard play, what happens when the other team, what happens when O'Miles isn't making the 3-point shot or is shooting like she shot 2 years ago? What happens when Hannah's not getting the and one flop buckets to the rim? What happens when Sonia's defensive matchup has put her on the bench because she got 2 fouls in the first quarter? What happens when the other team says, okay, Kate, win the game for him?
I'm crying. Somebody said receipts kept see you in March. And so the problem is, if in order to not be a pretender, they need to be there in April. I think that's the point that's being made. That's the point that Dolores is making. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh. Giannis, are you going to respond?
That's a bar. Click that.
Everybody don't be wrap you up like that, man. You got to respond. Don't take that.
Everybody's gonna be there in March. That's going on the Twitter, on the everything.
Don't take that.
And again, I'm totally okay with being put on the jumbo squad. Like, if you get me wrong, put me on the
field. But it's not even that. It's just basketball talk. So the receipts kept
but you know, I'm gonna drag it. Please drag it.
Please
drag it. But when, like I always say, it's so hard to
get your leprechaun panties out of a bunch.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Oh, we're going to put you on here. Deanna says, see you in Tampa.
Okay. Period.
Yes, we'll be hosting the event, so we'll see you there.
And no shade, no tea. But I've been in the city where my team won the championship in the last 5 years.
3 times for me. I've been at every one.
Oh,
bad bitches only.
I even was at that lost child.
I was at that too. You remember that Iowa dog Shay? I'll never get that white man with that Iowa fan. Whew. Racist as fuck.
No,
he turned around. Who was it? It was me, you.
It was me, you, Devin, Aaron. Your mom was in the row in front of us.
And he was showing out in front of mama.
He was like questioning low, like, do you have a degree from South Carolina?
Like, did you even go to South Carolina?
Like,
and I said yes, and my mom graduated from pharmacy school there. What's next?
With the young nigga, clock that cheese.
B is one finger.
And you know what he did? Turn his white ass around and mind this fucking business.
Yeah,
Here for the start.
But no, for real though. Like hot takes are meant to be hot. Sometimes y'all be saying stuff is hot.
Yeah, there's hot and then there's lukewarm. Like,
yeah. But
and then there's stupid.
I'm okay with being brought back to. If they make it to the Final Four, good for them. I think they have talent, so yay. But that's just my.
I would be excited too.
Yeah, I'll be happy for Coach Ivy.
For sure.
I like little Hannah.
Amen. And that's on Jesus.
Shout out to another black coach. If you know,
I just think she's crazy as hell, and I think it's hilarious.
Oh, she's the hinges.
I love her energy on the court, man.
Hey, what you say?
The tires on her Chevy only rotate halfway.
Yeah.
I like about her.
I think that's why I like her. Like I could tell she's a little off.
Yeah.
I want an all narrative Final Four. I don't want to hear
that.
I want two black women head coaches there. I want JuJu there. I want all the money, because that way it don't matter who win or who lose. We can write a filthy story.
So the narrative was South Carolina,
South Carolina, UCLA, USC, and Notre Dame.
And it would be a narrative of UConn not being there.
Correct. Yeah, I want an all narrative Final Four.
Little Hannah, y'all don't call her Little Hannah.
I like her, man.
This is why them people quit, and this is why you are who you are, because you call that girl Little Hannah, and now everybody watch the TL about to start saying Little Hannah.
That's my name. That's my teacher energy.
You know, we weren't. I mean, obviously, I would always want to win, but if any of the others won, like I still win. It's the plan that I will say. If Southern Cal if them fans don't come out, because they played somewhere and wasn't nobody in the fucking building. Was that in Vegas? Was they in Vegas?
Well, yeah, but
last year.
It was like at 9 a.m. or some shit.
Okay. But all I know is that UCLA and Southern Cal better travel.
How tall is Hannah, y'all?
She's shorter than Lay.
5'9".
She's not no damn 5'9". No man.
7 or 8. I would say
she might be 5'9".
I don't think she's that.
Okay. We got another conference to get to, because that was just.
I'm sorry.
5'6". Damn. Well, she's still taller.
She's little. She's not taller than I am.
SEC. Fakers and performers.
5'6". That's probably a stretch. If Google's saying it, it's probably 5'5".
If I'm being honest,
wait, what was
the South Carolina? All of them fakers, because ain't nobody play nobody, and they be relying on. I'm back to the schedule. Don't nobody be playing nobody, and they be relying on South Carolina. How much they lost to South Carolina by? Ain't nobody beating them. So how much they lost to South Carolina by to put them in a little quadrant for the March Madness shit. Play somebody, and then I'll care. I don't care.
They trying to take the Big 12 approach. I think it was 2 years ago. The Big 12 got accused for manipulating the net to get so all of them played a soft non-conference, or the majority of them played a soft non-conference schedule, so they could all be ranked teams. Yeah. And that way, by the time they got the conference, they were all ranked, or majority of them were ranked. So when they beat up on each other, it didn't hurt as much. Yeah. And so they were able to still keep close games. Or, you were ranked, but you only lost to Houston by 5, or you only lost to such and such by 7. So they were able to put a bunch of teams in the conference.
That's how people been getting off in the SEC for a little minute now. Mm-hmm. Like, to be honest, it's like, we played South Carolina close, and so we're not that bad. Or we went into South Carolina and only lost by 10. This team went in.
That was North Carolina's. That was North Carolina's claim to fame, even though they're not SEC. It was like, we're the only team that holds South Carolina to not.
And then got their ass whooped.
Right. And it's okay. You thought the 9 points the year before or whatever was cool. How about 40?
There was some stressful ass 9 fucking points. My God.
It was. I'm not even gonna hold you.
I do think Kentucky is a performer with a little asterisk on the side.
I do. I am impressed by them.
No, they haven't played a tough non-conference, and yes, they did lose to North Carolina. However, I do think that they look like an SEC team. So, given that it's their first year, if they finish anywhere between 3rd and 5th, I would say that's a performing year for them.
I agree.
You don't think What about Miss State? To me, I know this conference a little better, so my expectations are a little different. So you could be a performer for your expectation.
True. Okay, so if we're basing it on their expectations,
all right, let me throw schedules out. Okay.
I think Mississippi State, them beating Oklahoma. I know you said it's not surprising, but it was still a ranked match.
It's a big win.
Mm-hmm. Alabama, they're not performers.
I can't.
They're not either to me because they put them under.
I would have put them underperformers had they not showed up and got embarrassed against Texas. And yes, they didn't have Sarah Ashley Barker, but you could show something about yourself in a matchup like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
So
they got their ass whooped bad.
I refuse to put LSU in that conversation. Yeah, see, now B's point makes me think for real because the SEC might be full of some hoes.
Now wait, listen. Now I got to give you your props. Because I don't know if it was on last committee spaces or another spaces we had. You mentioned that LSU could get popped in the mouth by Vanderbilt. And I said, no, they won't. Like LSU, they ain't gonna have no issues with Vanderbilt. You were absolutely right. I was
that damn Camille Pierre.
You were right. I didn't foresee them struggling.
Because the only reason why I remember I said on spaces, they got two players that can get to the money. And baby, Camille did everything in her damn power to win that game. And with the way that they defend, like LSU will always struggle with teams that can match their defensive intensity. Always. They can beat some teams that, like, again, that they beat Tennessee late because Tennessee was not defending. But when teams can match their defensive intensity for 40 minutes, they will struggle. So that makes sense. But I can't say whether they're pretenders or performers or whatever until they play South Carolina. Because I don't even know how to use Texas for.
But I will say, to an extent, I feel like they have to be performers because they figured out a way to win. Even if the game should have been a game, that's a different point.
Yeah.
But they figured out a way to win,
get the job done.
So for me, like maybe you shouldn't have been in a close game with them, but you figured out a way to win.
It's just so eerily similar to their Natty year, but I just think it could go the complete opposite way. Like that's my only little thing with them. Like it just seems like one little thing could send them off a ledge and they could lose 2 straight or 3 straight, rather than when that Natty year they lost South Carolina, then lost to Tennessee in the tournament, and then that gave them what they needed to win.
But I also think in that year they still had something that they could really hang their hat on. They had good point guard play, and they had solid Angel, and not even just Angel, LaDasia. LaDasia is a fucking what nobody says.
True.
So I think this year, and Kim has said this too, they still kind of trying to find, what kind of make us shake. But
Texas will be a fun matchup if, in the words of Vic Schaefer, they show up. Because pound for pound,
I don't know. Where is he?
Somebody chat, let us know.
For who?
So what do you? I think y'all point guard is Poa. I don't think Moki wants to accept it.
Who you chatting to?
I mean,
they said our post and our point guard, not it. Mo said
Poa been a point guard for the last 2 years.
It's Poa.
I thought she should have been a point guard when Haley been there.
I thought she should have been a point guard when it was Alexis. To be honest.
Yeah.
So,
Carson, who's Carson? Oh yeah.
Oh, it's in Texas. So Booker versus Michaela. Roy versus KG and whomever else. White girl, Holly.
Rebounding is going to be interesting because that damn older kid, bruh.
She's big. And that's the thing. Like the problem is going to be though for them. South Carolina had bodies because South Carolina threw Miriam in there. South Carolina threw Adele in there. Sanaya was on her sometimes.
Joyce, everybody.
They can't fuck around and let Anissa get in foul trouble.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of. So Kim gonna have to coach around that because.
And the real issue is that damn Aaliyah Moore, because Lord knows she is a bat out of hell, and that's gonna be Anissa.
She is.
And both of them are crash out girlies. Like the same way Anissa hit the floor, Aaliyah hit the floor a little bit harder. And if they get to slapping and slap boxing and fighting and shit.
Oh, I forgot about Max Truss.
And
Max,
the way
I hope you don't trust Max. Who's Michaela and Madison? They don't have the same face. They used to have the same body and they play the same, but Madison, she
looks good.
Like she looks really good.
Yeah, she looked good. She looks really good.
Like I was like, I mean, we thought this earlier.
I don't even know who LSU has that is even willing to touch Odaker. Like that's
Yo, Marion was down there fighting for her fucking
like
she was gonna get her because she was down there battling, honey.
Like, 9 rebounds in 4 minutes.
In 4 minutes, bro.
Yeah,
and
like
5 of them was on the first
possession.
play. 5 was on the first play she got in the fucking game.
That shit was funny.
But like to the South Carolina point, Sanaya is used to defending, and this is back before Aaliyah slimmed down. Sanaya is used to defending Aaliyah. She's used to dealing with Camilla, big strong ass. So Odaker is like, oh baby, you just less mobile with a little wide. Expecting Jersey and Lil Smith to touch her.
No, Jersey did good. She was fighting. Miriam did good.
I'm talking about, but if Jersey gonna have to touch Odaker, she might go into a coma. And yes, they might put ADR in.
They might have to.
They're gonna have to.
She gonna be doing this motion when she get tired.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to use ADR.
They gonna
and actually make the layups. It becomes an interesting game.
And no shade, no tea. But this is probably a game where Taylor Jones might not get taken out as early.
Oh yeah.
The other
hey, ADR got body though. I don't give a damn. She better use it. She don't do shit else. She get her ass
just
out
go down there and move. Oh, they shit. You ain't got to
know who they
ADR got body.
They gonna put Charlton on Anissa too, and I really like her. It's the light.
Oh, that's the one that was blowing her shoulder.
Yes, the light skin, big, love her. And then I like when Texas bring Preston in, man.
That's good. I like her.
If he can use his subs if he can use the South Carolina formula, it could be a good game.
That's the thing, Mo. She don't have to rebound. She just got to make sure court on whatever don't get the damn rebound. Lean on her ass and push her back. Let somebody else get it. Hell. But I'll be like, girlie, this is all you need to do, ADR. Get your big ass out there, lean on her big ass, and push her back. You don't got to get the rebound. Just
with the way LSU flopped, but Texas flopped just as much.
That was literally one thing I was about to say. That's something I'm looking forward to.
They about to match each other.
Like, they both like the drive to the basket. LSU got called for a lot of charges in the last game versus Vandy, and Texas is like,
drinking game alert. I don't know when this game is. Whoever gets the closest to naming the correct time, Vic takes that jacket off.
And Kim gonna lose her mind too.
They need to have cameras on the sideline. To be honest, just put cameras on the game. I'm with it.
It'd be Vic ass being a ref on the sideline for me the whole fucking game. When they down, them up.
So basically, it's South Carolina's the performers. There are a few co-stars. Oh no, not even co-stars, supporting acts. And then the rest are still auditioning.
Correct. Very dream girl.
Some people have already been given their walking papers, but
every man.
I do like Tennessee's coach though. I like her, Kim.
She got a little dog in her.
I like her. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's cool.
Where's she from?
I would never tell Tyree that, but she's cool.
I liked her response when they was like, this is just your first year, so this is something to build on. And she was like, I got seniors, like this is their year. I'm not trying to.
I like that. I agree.
Year type shit. I want to win. I want to win for my seniors.
Cool.
I will say they need. If I'm Tennessee moving forward, we need to call that matchup the Kimbo.
Kimbo.
May the best Kim win.
The kick.
And no, we're not doing the Big East. Fuck it. Fuck them.
I was gonna say, there's no need to do Big East or anything else. Shouts out to all of them. There are some performing
Oklahoma's
programs.
definitely a faker.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Oklahoma they have to get an SEC roster. I think something we mentioned.
They need to get an SEC coach,
an SEC coach, and the SEC roster because the coaching makes a difference.
Their style of play doesn't benefit them in the SEC because they
can only have one of them in the conference, and that's Mizzou. And so Texas, they have the players to compete in an SEC, but Oklahoma, they just aren't there just yet.
And Big came from the SEC. He knows.
Right. Also, can I say one? We absolutely give Bree Hall credit for shutting Madison Booker down. 2,
100%.
Y'all are absolutely dragging it. She does not deserve to be out of National Player of the Year conversation. I mean, out of SEC Player of the Year conversation. She doesn't deserve to be like shitted on and no shit like that. She a goddamn sophomore. Like, be for real. Like,
I think somebody pointed it out. That happens in like honestly and truly, I think it happens every time somebody plays South Carolina. If we're being honest, South Carolina defense is legit. And I think sometimes people underestimate how tough their defense is as a unit. But everybody kind of have their struggles versus South Carolina. Like, we can go back to Flau'jae freshman year. Flau'jae was hooping. SEC freshman of the year. Her ass was on the bench during the South Carolina game because she struggled. Like, so many players.
Goes back to UCLA. They did a good one on bets.
They did.
Like,
everybody else was like,
the game plans on defense.
And which goes back to my original point.
Asia Kelly struggled. Like,
which goes back to the point I was making. This win is their best win, but y'all don't ever want to give South Carolina no credit. It can't be both.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just cannot be. I mean, either one you pick.
We should call ourselves the litmus test.
What is this?
Clocking.
Don needs to coin the litmus test.
Seriously.
Damn. That also stamps, though, that Ryan and Rakia is like that.
That's the point I was trying to make. The girls
we had no game plan
can get off against South Carolina, especially the ones that Don scouts for. But Don always prepares you for a bitch that's gonna go off on us. It's always a player when Don says, well, we just have to hope that no one else does anything else. Austin, Ryan, Rakia. Those are the
Wait, who was the first one you said?
Shakira Austin. When she used to give Aaliyah that motherfucking work. Rakia and Ryan. And Peely. And Peely, can never forget Peely. But the girls where Don is like, yeah, we're just going to make sure everyone else just
stop everybody else.
Yeah.
And if they,
because it's either if Don think that she got somebody that can strap up or a group of them that can strap up, expect 25 points on 1 for 35 shooting. But if it's
the funny thing about it is, that's the people who South Carolina fans don't play by Rakia and Ryan.
We love them girls.
And they've been cooking us for years, bro.
Game no game. Game no game.
Yes.
It was like y'all can talk trash about everybody else, but them two,
yeah.
And that's why we fuck with bets. And that's why we fuck with bets, right? Because we already know what time it is. I feel the same way. Like, when you can't tell me what to do. If you can't tell me what to do, you can't. And that's why when them other people in purple and gold be talking shit, I'd be like, but you didn't tell me what to do.
16 times
but Madison is still in SEC Player of the Year conversation. That, like, she just came up against, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, preparation, right? Haven't seen defenders like that all non-conference.
And a group of them, too. Like,
a group. Right? Outside of the Notre Dame game. But even then, Notre Dame was like in a zone most of the time. So this was like mano y mano. I'm defending you one-on-one. Like, let's go. She hasn't seen somebody who could do that so far. So
and Madison is used
she'll grow from it.
she's used to being the mismatch. Like very rarely do you see a 6'2" wing that's mobile, can get to their mid range. She's not the fastest player, but very Simone Augustus coded, like very. But when you got Breezy who matches you, especially now that you slim down, pound for pound, length for length, like, and she was getting them feet moving the whole game. And again, South Carolina does a good job of attacking the other team's go-to player. Because to Shay's point, in order to beat the JuJu, those people, Caitlyn got to score 40 because they just put her on the perimeter in that zone and she didn't have to play on defense. JuJu is so big because JuJu straps up and scores up.
Yeah.
Madison is experiencing what it's like to have to strap up and be the offensive weight carrier. And that shit is not easy. It's not easy. And I think that's something Kiyomi will come up against if they ever start to bring players in that can like match her talent wise. What happens when, yes, we need you to score, but we also need you to not let your opponent get 30 points.
She's back, by the way. She played.
She is.
Yeah.
That's a perfect
Nikki.
segue.
I absolutely can.
She'll learn.
Except Nikki, it'll probably be 15. No, it'll probably be like 13, but like 10 rebounds.
I respect it. I respect it.
She gets in the paint.
She only back, but she had 33
and lost.
And got
that video of her teammate jumping.
Don't start me.
Baby, I'm gonna take a picture of that, please. Put that up, please. Put that up.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
She was like hey, but she got her bucket though. She got her bucket.
Low would have had her ass running in transition. I can tell you that much.
Like an ox.
So what do we think now that Kiyomi is back? Did it make a major impact to the game? Their upcoming schedule, they will be facing. Give me just one moment. Let me go and get that to the Big Ten.
I mean, they still lost. They just didn't lose by 40.
So hold on, give me.
Like that's what I'm saying. What are we measuring?
Okay, so hold on, shit. Shoot, kids are looking. So, do we think that when is the next opportunity that she has to go against a player of status? I should say.
UCLA is coming.
But what guard would she like to match up with that much on that?
Kiki Rice, I guess.
I don't think she matters to her. It matters to her. She just sees a big matchup and is like,
the name.
Okay. So her goal is to get a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
She don't care how she get them.
Yeah.
Like they play Michigan State. What is today? Tomorrow.
Oh, that'll be a fun one. Because Michigan State ain't got
Michigan could be fun. Herbert and Silas Wards. They won't guard each other, but
yeah. So they play Michigan State, then they got Michigan, then they got UCLA. So they brought her back right on time. The Cocoa Squad looked at that schedule and was like, "Oh shit! All right, bring your ass, come on, girl."
Wow. Yeah, you said Michigan State, Michigan, UCLA, Penn State.
That's a nice little stretch.
I'm excited to see her versus Jelani.
Now, see, that could be cute.
Give me Blockbuster.
That could be fun.
Oh, so they were only playing USC once.
That's why she was so damn mad. Do we think Adele will be able to play more minutes the next time?
I think Adele gets better and better each week. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Remember, Adele is still coming off of an injury.
Yeah.
Had to get college ready, and then she's coming off of
cleared until like 2 weeks before the season started.
Yeah.
So she give her time.
Okay. All right.
And what I like about Adele, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
She be balls to the wall. It don't matter.
What Don said in the press conference, the man was like, well, what are you guys going to do without Ashton's shot blocking ability? But she was like, well, we got Sanaya. She's a really solid shot blocker. And if she doesn't shot block, she'll get some deflections. Joyce is just aggressive on D. what's the other one? Sakima, she's 6'6". I mean, her height just alters the shots. She was like, and Adele, she was like, Miriam led the SEC in blocks, so she was top 3. Then she's like, Adele, she's gonna alter it, but she gonna hack you. I'm leaving here with something. Like, she gonna knock your ass out in the process.
That's my girl. Now that's my type of thing.
She gonna make you reconsider trying that shit again.
That's what you do. My coaches used to tell me, they bring their ass in here. You make sure the next time they remember. And now maybe the next time they don't come because you
don't do that shit
out.
again. Yeah.
So we know that, as I mentioned before, there are some coaches that are on hot seat. So it's going to be an interesting rest of the stretch of conference play. I think collectively everybody's probably around 10 more games left. It's already middle January, and conference play for some wraps up the end of February and or some maybe the beginning of March. So about 10 more games per team left. So the season, it feels like it just started, but we're in the thick of things now.
Yeah, that's because ain't nobody been playing nobody. That's why I feel like it just started.
Yeah.
We about to be
all naked and doing Pilates on the beach in Tampa. So as we get ready to move around from college, we're going to go to the pros. We know that we are in the middle of the beginning of free agency.
Hold on, I'm gonna answer this question. Laura, she's talking about Ravens post up when she
the snap
yanked that ball. It's like, yeah.
And was that old girl that screamed after? Because did y'all hear a scream soon as Raven grabbed the ball pass?
No.
Listen back to that video, and I wonder if that was Rory that was screaming. If so,
I know Molly got out of her seat as soon as she grabbed it, and Molly don't typically be up like that.
Shoot. Okay, go ahead, B.
So we're in the middle of WNBA free agency. We do know that contracts can't be signed yet until February 21st. Until February 1st. Right now, this is in the period of when they can extend qualifying contracts to the restricted free agents and as well as make their core designations. We've already seen quite a few cores be announced. There was Satu, there was Kelsey Plum, there was Stewie, there was Kelsey Plum. So I'm just saying that because I want to get a reaction. And there was
Gabby Williams.
We've seen extended offers be made to a trio of Chicago Sky players, Dana Evans, Michaela Onyenwere, and there's the other name I can't remember. It's Peely, not Peely, but it's Milic or something like that.
Yeah.
I apologize for botching the name. And we've seen offers be made made to some New York Liberty players and accepted. Because Jaylen Brown has accepted and signed her offer. I'm not sure if Jalen Sherrod has signed hers yet, but she did. Okay, so basically what that means when they accept the qualifying reserve offers, that makes them their training camp contracts. They're not necessarily a training camp deal. They're still contracts. They're just at the scale of training camp contracts. If that makes so. If I'm not mistaken, that's around the 70-ish thousand mark. And so why that's big for someone like Jalen Sherrod and Jaylen Brown, because they were either late draft picks or undrafted players. So now they're going into a slightly larger contract. And this season, expect to see 1-year deals. There are very few people who are probably going to sign extended deals, unless they maybe feel like they were fringe players on the way out of the W, so they want to lock themselves in. Kind of probably what Kalani Brown did last year. She locked herself into, I think, a 4-year deal because she was like, hey, I've been in and out of the league. Let me go ahead and get this money while
security.
Right, some security and a job for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
Right. So we're gonna see that happen, and it's free agency. What do y'all want to see happen?
I'm just seeing the Sky better not let CC go thing, and if a player did that well and is that good, deductive reasoning.
Light bulbs.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's something that we aren't privy to that took place, and everyone, we should probably wait. But if you have someone, what I think Lo was going to say, if you have someone that was probably on the cusp of being an all-star, one of the best guards, will we say top 5 or is that a stretch?
Top 5, in my
I
opinion.
think she was top 5, yeah.
Top 5 guards in the league. Not discrediting her as a player. Sometimes teams decide or organizations may decide that it's best to move on from players. Not because of on-court things, but it could be. And I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying that is a possibility.
Free agency wise, I'm excited to see a little chaos. Based on what we know that Satu is looking to allegedly get to New York, which means that if they want that to happen, they'll already be paying Stewie the most money they can pay her. And Satu will come in warranting similar pay scale wise, which means that they won't be able to realistically keep their core championship group. That means we know that Courtney Vandersloot is a free agent, so she's kind of considering her options, but that still leaves JJ, Lainey, and Sabrina all options to move around. And just style-wise, Satu is technically a 4 that they often play at the 3. So that leaves room for potentially JJ leaving and moving Stewie back to the 5 and Satu at the 4. It means Benaja possibly leaving and moving Satu into the 3 slot, Benaja going somewhere else. And we also know that Golden State is home for Sabrina, and we know that Golden State can release any of the people that they picked in the expansion draft if they want to. So with the 1-year option, and to me, I think everybody's going to be scrambling to win the last title before titles get much more difficult. Mm-hmm. So what are going to be the teams that players run to because they think that'll be the team that gets them their championship before chaos?
I have to imagine that because to me, I don't think Dallas is like a contender to win a championship, but I do think they're in a decent place to make it to the playoffs if they make the right moves. And so I have to think that Kurt isn't going to give Satu up easily, right? Yeah. Like you're going to have to, whoever wants Satu, you're going to have to come up off some assets in order for me to make that trade. Like, yes, Satu also has to be in agreement with the trade as well, but Dallas could very well do like Washington did with EDD, right?
I'm leaving here with something or nothing at all.
Exactly. Like, they could very well be like, well, we don't like the trade options. And yeah, I know you want to go here, but these teams aren't offering us anything. So as much leverage as Satu has, Dallas has too. They could damn near be like, we ain't going to make the trade. And so either you sit out or you go to a team that we can work something out with. Like, so
Indiana?
I mean, I think is likely. I don't know Satu's trademark value. I don't. And my only thing is that she's a great player. She has not played a full season of basketball, but once maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Since she's been in the league.
Williamson in the chat, by the way.
Oh shit! I ain't say all that now. She ain't eating Zataran's rice every night. Can't get up off the floor. But
I love Zataran's.
I just don't know how much am I willing to give up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if I'm the Liberty and I just won a title. How much am I willing to give up?
She's got the only market that works is a team that can eat her financially because of youth and know that we only have to deal with it for 1 year.
Yeah.
That's why I think Indiana's the most realistic. Because of the fact that I think Giannis said this in chat a few days ago, all of their big contracts, similar to Vegas a few years ago, are their rookie scale contracts. So you can rid yourself, and honestly, they could get her without doing much at all.
They have the space to keep Kelsey Mitchell if they wanted to. They haven't cored her yet. But if they wanted to core Kelsey Mitchell, they could core her and bring Satu in and still have enough money because the majority of your players are.
If I'm them, I core Kelsey, trade her 3-team type T, get her to LA. LA sends something back to Dallas like a De'Erica, and then you take Satu. So if I was a GM for today,
not Pete, Lord,
I'd say Satu to Indiana.
Okay.
Indiana sends initially sends Kelsey to Dallas so that Dallas can send her to LA. LA sends De'Erica back, and then of course you add any draft pick options you have for both for all players.
I just don't see. To me, Kelsey, she done been through the storm. I just feel like she might reap the benefits of where you at.
Oh, stay. Yeah.
Stay. Don't to go to LA.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
But I think the only thing is that
I mean, if they do it and they don't care, then that's
this is allegedly that hasn't been a good relationship, the streets say. So what does that look like? Because also
we finally make it and you send me back to a place that's struggling. No, man. No.
But what would because Indiana as it is right now isn't a championship team. And we know that if they do get Satu, pending her health, so maybe Nalissa.
That would be my trade. If I was Dallas, I'd trade Nalissa because it was already not working out.
No.
I trade, and she seemed like she want to play with Paige anyway, so I trade Nalissa, and then I'd also trade up some maybe like the 8th pick in the first round. Shout out to Indiana, by the way, for having the 8th pick in the first round because I was like, Indiana not the top 4? Damn. I'm so used to them being like lottery pick. I was like, oh shit.
Nalissa to Dallas would be fun because that's home. Air quotes. That could be cute. And she would feel that Natasha Howard Satu slot
exactly
perfectly. She's
you pair her.
That's to me. That's
I forgot Dallas is also losing Natasha. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Natasha
maybe throw in like an extra player or something.
Natasha could be the steal of free agency because she's not the big name, so she won't draw that contract.
That's what I want in Vegas.
She could go to a Vegas.
She's at the top of my list.
And pair with Asia and look like she looked in Seattle those years when they won the title. Because playing with Asia allows her to 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like very swap. And if they want to do something where, okay, Asia needs rest, you put Natasha in and get her offensive bag. Because when she's playing with Asia, you want the defense. But then when you take Asia out, give me some scoring.
She's at the top of my list. Like if I'm a GM for Vegas, well, Vegas ain't got none. They should call me.
Let me call. You know.
But if I'm Vegas temporary GM, Natasha Howard is at the top of my list because she knows how to play with a mobile superstar like Asia.
If I'm Vegas, I'm not taking a look at Cheyenne Parker, but everybody else should take a look at her. Just not Vegas.
The Valkyries need to look at everybody. Leave no stone unturned. I'm sorry. Because that I don't think we talked about the expansion draft because it was at like during the holidays. But
that was so mean.
That was a weird ass production.
Yeah, I feel like they literally just took a bunch of people that they can cut or they knew that may not come over to the States so they can like put them on hold so they can create the roster that they really want to create.
I see at the time I said that's all 6 people, but to be honest right now, I'll be shocked. I think they'll keep 4 from that.
Mm-hmm.
Or 5. They're going to Kate. I think they'll keep Dylan in Veronica.
They'll keep
Veronica stays.
Kate got these people confused.
And Xander.
I've never seen somebody that ain't scored more than 15 points in a game be treated like a potential WNBA Hall of Famer.
That's true. And I think Billings, yes. And then who was there?
Xander from Minnesota.
You need Thornton to build culture.
Oh, and Thornton. I forgot they took her. Yeah.
So they could very well keep a good bit. They maybe go 6 in and then get 6 new people.
No.
I'm going to be interested.
I would only take 4 and just drop some of the people we name because you still want to give yourself room for something better. Like
what's going to happen in Connecticut? I think DJ and Marina will be there. That's about
their
it.
besties. Okay, Paul.
Where's
AT going?
Who?
AT.
I don't know. I don't think she's gonna be in Connecticut.
I don't think AT or DB goes back.
They're going to Phoenix. They're going to Phoenix and Kai going to Vegas. Kai and Natasha Howard.
I don't want her in Vegas. After all that I've seen, I don't want her here.
What did she do?
It's just too much.
Was it the picture?
It's the caucusness and
His pictures were very off-putting.
Pictures.
The picture.
Her holding that white woman sitting on her like a chair.
Oh, that's what we talking about. Well,
But that and other caucusness, I'm sick of it. Any black person that willingly makes themselves that free for white folks. Now this is our part where we being shits and giggles, but I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Who is going? Oh no, not wrong one. Donovan, yes. Who is going to help?
Torres is injured, so she definitely won't be.
Shay's gonna be on the team.
Y'all need a point guard.
They need a point guard.
And they lost Von Lou. Damn.
I'm throwing the oop to Shakira.
Von Lou. That's what you said, right?
Shakira throwing the hookah to Atlanta.
Don't.
Yes, come on.
I didn't know Von Lou went to boundaries.
If we get NED on the Candace Parker type game, I'll take that shit tomorrow.
No, no more old people. I don't want Asia trying to save nobody else's career. Pack it up, Grandma. No.
Hang it up, flat screen.
Let Asia be. Y'all got y'all ring. She not saving y'all to help y'all get another one. No, she's not carrying anybody else across the finish line.
Nah, that's real.
No.
I'll allow it.
That's real. Trying to play. I don't know. She doesn't talk. She seemed happy with whatever she got going on.
Baby, whatever them dogs are doing, sleeping with her and her wife.
That and the little wood stuff.
Yeah, like, and I mean, she got a ring. She's a Hall of Famer.
Go home and take care of your kids.
Only 54.
Leave Asia out of it. Take care of your kids.
Lou is going back to Chicago.
Yeah, and quickly gonna come out of retirement.
No, Asia don't want to drag nobody else across the finish line. No, go home and take care of your kids.
Stop asking me about my thoughts. Okay, P, I'm ignoring the question. I don't have thoughts, y'all.
Not a rehabilitation center.
I got no thoughts.
It's crazy.
I honestly won't be upset at Sluty going back to Chicago. I thought about Seattle too, but I was like, they got their point guard in Skylar.
Like being a veteran point guard. She's a great passer. She knows how to get it into the paint. She's smart, good IQ.
Because remember, Quigley is older than Sluty. And Sluty hasn't had a lot of injuries, right? She's just had like personal things that she's dealt with. Yeah, so like I don't think she's breaking down.
I mean, she's gonna fall off a little bit just because of age, but
right. Big, they want Vegas to be Shady Pines. No.
That Sunrise. I can honestly see now. What if Sluty is in Chicago? Is she the starting point guard, or is she that better? Okay,
no, Dana's the starting point guard.
I like Dana in Chicago.
Can I make this point? I want Chicago fans to stop acting like y'all are too good for Jewel Lloyd, and I want you to stop doing it today.
Too good for
but they got nobody on Chicago that got an ounce of Jewel's resume.
Like y'all ain't got
or talent. Like, now she had it. Now we can say she had a bad year, but she's still.
We can call her Snake. We can call her Garden Snake. We can say she was terrible at the Olympics. We can say this year wasn't great because she was the star of the team. However, that woman is a two-time WNBA champion.
Should have won MVP that second time.
First, meaning MVP of the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Is a first-team All WNBA player. Kobe's disciple. Y'all know that matters for people. Please stop doing that.
Hall of Famer, like,
and y'all keep saying y'all don't want her mama there, but shit, y'all gotta deal with other people's mamas and themselves.
And Jewel would be, I think Jewel just had to learn, like a lot of players in the W have to learn, that you might just not be that girl to carry a team. And that's fine. And not everybody can take on the burden of being the person that carries a team to being that winning team. And sometimes you're just better as the role player. Ain't not wrong with being a role player. I don't know why the girls be so mad at being a role player.
Ever since Kayla McBride had her issue with me, the term role player has been a terrible term.
I'm saying, like, nothing wrong with being a good role player, because if you excel at your role, you'll get the job done for your team. Like, Jewel was amazing at what she did for Seattle when they needed her to be Jewel.
As a Robin.
Right? Like Jewel hit a bunch of clutch shots.
As a Robin.
Chicago can't afford it because they don't. Their contracts are all
rookie
contracts, and
the only
like
issue is they screwed them damn selves with that damn arena money. That's the only little.
They're off that though, right?
But they can. I would say this would be good for Jewel. Sloot would be her Sue Bird. And you got your bigs, Angel and Camilla, and she can just be the go score.
You got Michaela at the 3.
And you know how to pass the rock. She's played with other stars.
I like that.
Yeah,
I need y'all Jewel, Michaela, Camilla, and Angel,
and Dana.
That's a good spot. And I see people talking about Jewel might not fit into the system. What system? You got a new coach, ho. What's the system? You don't know it. You've been at practice. You don't know.
We don't even know if the players they got fit into the system.
No. There are some role players that deserve to be played like a star, Aisha. Like
who?
If we're gonna call Jewel a role player, the Jewel role player is a lot different than the K-Mac role player.
When we say role player, an all-star is a role player. Literally, role player applies to anyone that is not the franchise player. Because even your bench players are role players, your 3-and-D players are role players. Jewel is just an all-star role player. She should be paid like an all-star. So if we were using the MNBA comparisons, no, Rui Hacha, whomever, should not be paid LeBron money, but he should be paid a good amount of money.
Jewel is like Kyrie.
Bingo. Yeah.
That's good as yes.
Like she's a very good
white man, right? Luka.
Yeah, exactly.
So Luka is a franchise player. Kyrie's the really good player beside him, but he can't do it by himself.
Right.
Yep. So I definitely think that Chicago. I mean, let's see.
Y'all be talking about y'all like MNBA hoops, and Jewel is very.
And she honestly, she'll take the sting away from losing Kennedy. To be honest,
she would more than take it away because you don't have the off the court. You just have the court.
Right. Y'all just got to decide: do we want to win games, or do we want to make a team where people like everybody and it's flowers and roses? Because you
not even like everybody, and we're gonna make the aesthetically pleasing team that we would like to hang out with.
We want to hang out with.
They want this guy to be a bunch of baddies or to be an
so then join the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority incorporated.
Hey. Whoa. Not on the eve of Founders Day. You will not.
Founders Day, Yana.
You will not do that today.
Relax. Turn into a serious matter real quick.
Relax. All right.
Do we see Chicago divorcing
Chicago Ivies is crazy.
Do we see Chicago divorcing Mariah and Rachel?
Hell yes, I would today.
Mariah is guaranteed 145. Rachel is guaranteed 95. Or
moving. I forgot who you saw. I was like, what the fuck is Mariah?
Me too. I was like,
Big Lotto.
145. And 95,000.
Okay. I don't think they have. If they were to get 2 players that had like a max type of or 200K-ish contract, they'll probably need to keep one of them because you do have to have like a minimum of 10 players. So I don't know if they got the space to.
Well, they'll be able to bring in.
I'll keep Rachel, and I would skip Mariah.
Yeah, Bo Jeff is just.
Send both of them. I'm sorry.
Or see if you can work out a trade. Like maybe
Rachel needs
might
to
be a trade there.
Because Lindsay's not protected, but she's at 90. Elizabeth is 100, and from the look, I think Elizabeth is expected to stay around,
and she's gonna be a good backup for them. Like
because she was balling before she got injured.
They got the framework to be a solid team. Just make the right moves, and a player like Henny could work there because she's Mariah Jefferson size without the not playing possibilities.
I don't know. One thing I do think is going to happen, I think things are going to get really messy because I know they down there in Miami coming up with ways to link up.
Oh, baby.
Like, that's going to be,
They just gonna have to wait until after this year then, because
they tampering real bad.
Yeah,
absolutely.
the unrevealed is definitely tamper 101.
Absolutely.
They're definitely down there. Probably going to be comparing contracts. Doing some good recruiting down there in Miami. So it's going to be interesting to see if coaches.
May the best facilities win.
I'm about to say, and that's another thing. We've seen free agency periods in the past have definitely been determined based off of the facilities and the resources that teams have. So the majority of teams have their own.
Alicia's not coming to LA. Mind your manners. Thank you.
I think right now everybody has their own except for
what's that street that the hookers be on in
LA don't have one, right?
LA, Chicago, and Connecticut, I think, are the only teams without.
Chicago building one.
Yeah. Do the Mystics have like facilities? I know they got their own arena, but I don't know where they probably somewhere dipped in some mumbo sauce. So that's going to be interesting to see who. Oh, in Atlanta. Atlanta doesn't have theirs either. But it's going to be interesting to see. Thank you, Erie. Thank you, Shmoney.
Erie, Shmoney.
I do a dance for Shmoney.
I like ice cream.
We got new clip members. Amari and is it Ataya? Is that how I say it? Williamson. If I
we got new clip members.
Rub your click if you love committee.
Afra, thank you. We appreciate y'all. But yeah,
Afra.
Did y'all touch on this?
What?
Touch on what?
It does not matter what women wear. They can wear a see-through dress with their stomach out for New Year's. They can wear their ass out on Wild 'N Out. They can wear Prada kitten heels with church outfits that their mom should wear. They can have blunt cut brown brunette hair with long noses. They could have long 30 inches of weave and natural looking lashes. They could need some chapstick and have very straight hair and pull it back in a raggedy ponytail every goddamn day. They can barely talk. They can have a lot to say. They can pretend that this is a signal to the sideline. They can do like this down the court. If men are creepy and want to stalk them and follow them, then they will, regardless of what they wear, regardless if they tweet on social media, regardless if they have a podcast with Sexy Red, regardless of whatever they're doing. If they sit on a podcast with Kelsey brother, if men are creepy, men are creepy. So it doesn't matter. So stop. Well, you shouldn't wear this so men wouldn't. Fuck that. Caitlyn looks like
Elliot Stabler.
Every day. And a man still decided that he was going to be nasty and rude and stalk her. None of them deserve it, no matter what they wear.
Nobody.
Stop it. So the WNBA, I don't know what y'all got to do, if it's more security, whatever. None of these women deserve it. Paige was being stalked, and Paige dresses like a 40-year-old uncle on the grill. So it doesn't matter what they wear. Men are nasty and creepy. Okay. All right.
In the back of this.
So it has nothing. So, well, maybe if she would wear this, people wouldn't sexual. It doesn't matter. Somebody sexualized Caitlin Clark. Okay. Doesn't matter.
Period.
Well, shit. Can't go nowhere with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Victoria Lomax, indeed. Thank you for the donations. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Victoria, ice cream.
Y'all, they taking our app, bitch. What the fuck we gonna do?
We got 200 more days. They put it on hold.
Oh,
TikTok. Wait, we got 200 more days of TikTok?
I think so, yeah.
I've been trying to save the cooking recipes because Lord knows that's
brother.
Gotta get my TikTok dances in.
Right. It wasn't an issue for Big Media. They act like Angel was making that shit up. But it's okay.
But I mean, the whole concept of beauty standards, looking a certain way, dressing a certain way, identity politics just in terms of sexuality has become a major point in women's sports, even dating back to the Serena Williams days. she was too manly. She needed to dress more girly. And then when she came out looking girly, I was trying to turn into a stripper in Atlanta. So to Lowe's point, it really does not matter. But I think for me, it's more frustrating seeing the way that W players are feeding into these narratives intentionally and unintentionally. Because as we've seen former W players sit on podcasts with men that have basically told them they not gonna watch them unless they start looking sexy or putting some blush on or putting some lip gloss on. So when you have people that are in the league that are doing that, it makes it really hard to even comment on the men that are doing the creepy stuff, because there are people in the league that agree with them. And that's where it's really sad, because the allies aren't in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we have to discuss in terms of everybody got podcast mics, but y'all only calling out certain people. And with the last situation that occurred, love Sydney coasting down, but you can't call out home Skittles when your former AU sister be on the stage with Gilbert doing the same stuff.
I agree.
So that's all we can't really say, Shaq needs to woot, woot, woot if we bringing him on our podcast. I'm just saying. But I agree.
You ain't lying.
Just saying.
Respect the girlies or we beating ass. That's really the end of it.
Like, it really is. Like, just leave them alone. Golly. And even and if we're going to keep it a buck, even if you're not stalking in a negative way, in a way that's like, oh, I'm going to follow you from here to here. Some of the stuff that y'all be doing online sometimes is kind of.
Wake it up.
Y'all it's like.
It's obsessive.
It's, yeah. Like.
Because there's no difference between homeboy that's about to catch the charge for Caitlyn and y'all.
Yeah, like
that look at everything she posts and creates your own story about it.
Yeah, like it's not in a creepy like I'm gonna get you way, but
there's no difference between the people that's harassing Angel and y'all that make something out of every single thing she posts.
Yeah,
there's no difference.
Yeah, just a different spin. So I just want us. I mean, but granted, at the same time, like it's like the league is getting bigger, so. This is what the men deal with, and they shouldn't have to deal with that either. But I mean, I know it's part of it, but I guess it just kind of sucks to have to see it because I know like.
And the thing is that the men are more willing to protect other men from harassment than they are willing to protect women. Like, yes, do KD and them get heat? Do Bron and them get heat? But the term Bron sexuals is a term for a reason. Because we in the field for that man. I do too. I'm sorry.
Man said we.
But I can say that because I also get in the field for Asia and other people that I support. However, I'm not looking and stalking their lives to be a part of it or to make myself a part of their life. If I see something they post, I'm gonna like it, I'm gonna love it, share it, woo woo woo. But if you're not genuinely in these people's lives, just let them be regular.
I know y'all phones backed up saving all them people content every time they post it, making your fans.
How do you do? Like, I mean,
it'd be quick too. Like
maybe within 2 minutes.
Themselves. Like I'd be like, damn, they just posted this.
BRB gotta pee.
Twitter, her in that damn water. Social media needs to start flagging some of that stuff. Like, if I post content,
this crazy bitch just downloaded your shit again.
Like,
phone stop vibrating.
Like, damn, it's annoying. So hopefully
then Snapchat used to tell you when people used to screenshot your little snaps.
Instagram needs to do that.
Yeah,
that app would be going off all day. The other thing too is, to that point, the relationship shit, please leave them kids alone. I don't need to know who is doing what in the dorm room. I don't care. Those are 19 and 20-year-olds. Like, that is just really I don't care. Like, as long as it's consensual and everybody is safe, I don't give a shit. Please. I don't care.
I'm just here to talk hoops.
I just want to talk hoops. I don't want to post something and then y'all are under there like, well, she was doing this with. I'm grown.
I'm grown. Them are some babies. I know what I did in college.
Exactly. We've been to college. I can make
nobody in college. Okay,
put two and two
Enjoy
together.
your life.
I need to know what's going on. I'm sorry. That's okay.
Amen. All right. So before we wrap up, are there any questions that you all would like to answer? Typically, we'll be on the Twitter space on Twitter, and we'll bring people on the stage. So we got a few questions that we may ask. So tap it in there, and our good engineer will make sure to put you up on the jumbotron. Go ahead, Yana. What were you about
to say? KP, I will say this.
Oh, brother.
I don't want her to go, but if KP decides that she wants to go somewhere else away from the memories that she has with that cornball, I would completely understand. I get it. Like, I've never been divorced, but I'm sure that being in the city where you've met him, love story bloomed and all that stuff to turn to chaos, sometimes you just need to get away. I get that. So if it's time for her to go, it's time for her to go. Just, Vegas, make sure you get something good in return. That's all I ask. Soften the blow by giving me something good in return.
I think realistically, Vegas will eat it or send her if only they get something good in return. Because I think while maybe do I want to leave? I also think that their relationships are still solid enough internally for it to not be an issue if she stays. I'm sure they're all aware that, her heart is maybe being closer to home or just going somewhere and changing her spirits. But I also think the relationships player to player and just the time spent together isn't contentious enough for it to really knock her out of the water. Because, Becky was upset about this season in terms of them not being able to, go for the third one and just the way everything shook out. And I think if they can come in and find that motivating factor, I think Kelsey will be bought in. So I'm okay with either way.
Because also, I won't be surprised if it's why this year, let me go ahead and stay here for this year while we got the most of us together. And then in 2026, the new contracts kick in and got more teams, then I can really explore my options.
I'm excited to see if because we didn't really go into detail about Vegas. Jackie, KP, Asia, Chelsea, Tiffany, Alicia Clark.
I personally, and I don't know this roster so many times. But yeah, those are the 5, and honestly, it's either.
And I'm okay with Kitley staying too.
I like her, but she can't be the one that we rely on. You know what I'm saying? Let her work her way and see what happens, but she can't be somebody that we're oh, we got a 6'7" or a 6'6" big now. Woohoo! Nah, go.
Today is a new day. You about to turn tomorrow into a bad day. Don't piss me off.
Oh, funny.
But it's either, unfortunately, hate to say it, it's either AC or Sid for me.
I want Sid to just join.
They would be fighting for the same spot.
Sid just needs to. And do I think Sid can still contribute on the team? Yes, but I want her to move into her administrative bag, smooth player of the operations or cultural.
I like Sid there because she can contribute. I need to see. Is it Becky that needs to?
It's Becky. Sid,
because
I think this season showed with Tiffany Hayes coming in and not even having a practice and getting on the court immediately. It showed that Becky don't have a problem opening her heart to trust somebody on the court. Yeah. So if you've been there this long and she still be struggling to put you on the court, it might be time to, and that doesn't say her game isn't good. That just says Becky don't trust her game as much as you would like. And
but it's what Lobie's saying about Zaya and Dawn. Sid Sid could have played in the championship season, as we know, because look what she did in the championship game. And clearly, at times this last year, she was the X factor off the bench that we needed. We just didn't play her. So I don't think it's, and when you bring up trust, I think it's more of Becky's habits. Like, Becky likes the game to look a certain way, and she is willing to have Tiff do it than she is to have Sid do it. But in my opinion, to your point, if she's not willing to have Sid do it, then we need to move into a role that is there. But I don't think that's anything to do with Sid at all. Like, I don't think
at all.
I don't think it mattered what Sid did. I just think that's what.
Because every time she's come in the game, she shows she's capable of giving something, when she's in the game. So
especially when the energy sucks, she comes in and picks right back up.
So this season, this off season with no GM by committee, I want them to put together a roster that Becky can look at and be like, okay, I can see myself playing like at least 9 to 10 players on this team, because I do think them motherfuckers be tired, man. Like
all I know is that if we have another season where Asia has to play 35 minutes a fucking game for the entire season, I'm cussing.
Like, they be tired. And they be like I know they say Jackie and KP, they like to play the minutes. Sure, but come on. Just because they like it,
I don't care about them too. Asia's the one that's playing them goddamn minutes. They got backups.
Yeah.
Asia's in the first championship year, De'Erica was pregnant. Somebody else was hurt. Then the second championship year, the whole damn post rotation was gone. We had to rely on Big Australia.
I would bring Queen back for a training camp contract and see what she does.
No, I don't need no more.
I see what she do in training camp.
If she can leave the weed at the dispensary, she can come.
What should Chicago do with Brianna Turner?
Send her to the WNBA Player Association Director Committee.
Yeah.
She is just so she just stopped growing. Like, it's no nice way to put it.
Maybe send her back to Phoenix.
I should like to argue, so I sent her to law school.
Oops.
I want Chicago to get Grace and Kiki.
Grace.
Grace Berger and Kiki Herbert Harrigan.
I'll allow it.
The only reason I say that is because she could be a tweener. Kiki's size is really the size of a 3, but she plays in the 4. And I'm not saying that. Yeah, and she can shoot it, and she's been extending it. And we saw what she was able to do. She didn't have the best season with Phoenix, but they trusted her enough to start her, and she had some really good games against some teams. I feel like that could work with, like, maybe she could play that 4 with Camilla, because she's not going. What happened? Favorite cash out.
Mad Kiki was definitely a time.
What did you say, Lo? You on mute.
What are you gonna do with Mercedes Russell?
I like her. You can. She hasn't been good the last 2 years in Seattle because of injury. I think, what was that? The heart, blood clots or something like that.
Something was leaking.
But the year that Vegas beat Seattle was a better team before they brought Tina Charles in, because Mercedes was playing those minutes.
I want Natasha Howard, Han.
I would take Mercedes before.
And a walk.
I'll allow for a walk.
If Dallas will trade her.
What? Mercedes to Chicago for
Oh, Jesus. The fuck is wrong? What's
that's terrible.
What? Why would they do that?
Yeah.
I'm not, but the thing is, when I say Mercedes, I'm not saying, because we don't got to pay her like that. Yeah. That's a player that you can get and use in the key role with more value, is what I'm saying. Because we do know that Mercedes not going to get hold on the defensive end. Like, he just showed up to work.
Because even during the series this year, like, who was out? Somebody was out. And so she had to play more minutes.
Ezzy, and then one time it was I
think their defense was, and that's no shade to Ezzy, but I think their defense was a little bit tougher when she played that whole game versus Vegas. Like Vegas struggled to get some shots in the paint going.
My ideal pick is big LA, but she signed that extra money, so I don't think we get her.
Lee Euro?
Azare.
Oh, Stevens, yeah. I've wanted her there since she left Chicago.
Because maybe if we could reunite that 2014 U19 team that went to Russia.
Who was that? Asia, Azare, Stewie?
That's the only two I care about. Stewie wasn't there. It was just Asian Azare.
Okay.
Leah Rue is coming to Atlanta.
Y'all gonna
in America's Deli.
Bulldogs.
I don't even go there.
I like Lee.
All right, of course, Kenny. Don't be nasty.
Lee gonna have on her long denim skirt shirt.
Oh shit, Lee did say I'm not going back to LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was one point where somebody said she may go back, but that was before Kurt and them.
As sure as my name is Dolores, Minnesota will call her.
They should. They should call her.
It always happens, and especially since Kurt is there, Kurt is just not going to bring his staff there. He's getting some of them players from that team. So and now he's the GM. Now I don't know what terms he and Reagan were on, but he's going to ship somebody there. And he's
what if he uses Satu to do that?
Could very well be, and that could be De'Arica.
What if Oh, you know who I want to come to Atlanta? I'm putting into existence, and I'm saying it first, so everybody else said it after me. I want Maria Gagdane to go to Atlanta.
I support that.
Is she a senior?
Okay. Yes.
I think so.
Oh, I like that.
To be Boston College for a year or two. She's been in UNC for at least two.
I like that, and she got good energy too. Suarez is injured, I believe. When they
will not be playing in the calendar year.
When they released her, they said something like injury.
Yeah, it was because she was hurt.
Ain't Big T out the door? What's she saying?
She definitely on contract for this year. I don't know if they trade her or if she asked to be traded, but
because y'all know De'Arica has a good relationship with Kurt, maybe she does go to.
I want De'Arica to.
I
want De'Arica to come to Atlanta too, though.
I thought her and Lexi might dip because they both were the first ones to come to Twitter and be like, "Damn, the whole coaching staff leaving." Oh no!
You know what? I won't be upset.
I wouldn't be mad at De'Arica and Big T. I wouldn't be mad at it at all.
Yeah,
Me either.
Wait, so Jordan, Ryan, Leash, De'Arica, and Big T?
I didn't say.
No. I said Big T for Dallas. Lowe only wants De'Arica in Atlanta.
Oh.
That's Natasha Howard, Aisha. That's the number one. Pray. We gonna pray. Pray hard. We gonna get Natasha Howard.
Okay.
If welcome in Dallas.
As sure as my name is Dolores, give me Alyssa Thomas.
Y'all know who's a sleeper? Not a big. That somebody that I want in Vegas to come off the bench. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough.
Oh my God, that's really America, bro. We barely got motherfuckers in DC, and you want to take the niggas that's already there.
She's a free agent, and she can shoot the three,
and she's not going anywhere.
I'm sure she's tired of being in that poverty franchise, though. I'm sure she.
I'm just saying she could be a great backup.
I'm sure she wants her own locker room. I'm sure
a healthy Izzy could work in Atlanta.
I would take her in Vegas.
I'd take Izzy.
Damn, I say Atlanta, y'all start talking about Vegas. Goddamn.
You see, everybody
want them hookahs.
Why do y'all want everybody in Vegas?
Because Asia needs 3.
Damn. Asia got championships. Can we get Atlanta one? Can we get Ryan something?
Not until Asia's ready to go home.
Fuck that. She got enough.
I'm just saying, Tori's free. So if you're watching this, girly, think about Vegas. You know,
let me tell you, Izzy, sister. One moment.
Leave Izzy alone. Izzy.
You should have taken her first.
Letitia.
I'm sure about the X.
Where does Ayoka Lee fall? I honestly think she's gonna be in the second round. To be honest, it gives like whoever Kitley and who else was.
I shot my shot.
No,
I think it'll be second.
Kuningo.
Yeah, like she was late. Kunane was very late because she was
last time I seen
while.
Kunane, she was walking through that club at the 2022
Big tall self.
I do think they'll keep Huey in Minnesota.
They should.
They just got to figure out how to work her into their system. But she can hoop.
Realistically, though, what does Atlanta look like with Homie? Because y'all you need bigs that can run. So
big, mobile. They're gonna like I said, they're gonna have to be run. That's why you notice I said Maria. I like Shakira. I said De'Erica, even Izzy. She's big enough. She's mobile. She can shoot it when she can. So just bigs like that. Mobile, I would love. That's why I think this could be a breakout season for LA. I think she works.
You think Tina comes back?
I don't want her to. I'm sorry. That's not even my team, and I just.
I don't know. I don't know.
What if because of what's her name? Tanisha. What if she goes to Chicago?
Oh hell no.
To do what?
Be a vet. I mean, they do need a vet.
No, they don't. What? This is no shade to her.
I feel like they passed the ball to her too much, and that's
what good has come from.
But they got a vet now in Courtney Paris, right?
No, I don't want Satu. No,
I don't think you could trade Nas, man. Nas
works. No, Nas works for that.
I like Canada. I wouldn't let her.
Oh yeah, I like Canada too. She's good. She's a good point guard, and she
just didn't have a full year because she was hurt. So she
and those people
AP go back to gaming full time.
And Atlanta is them girls are.
I forgot about AP.
Different. They good. If they got a point guard that work with them, let them work with. If she worked with Ryan Leash, keep her, please.
Yeah.
Aisha, please. We don't see no vision with no.
I see it.
No.
I see it.
Please.
Aisha, please.
We need to keep all the people we can.
I would
some way we gonna pray we get a first round pick so we can grab.
I don't think DeWanna would go to Atlanta. I don't even think that's even something that would even be on.
I can see DeWanna going back.
So where realistically would AT or DeWanna work? Because there's just certain franchise they would never go.
DeWanna, I think DeWanna can fit almost anywhere. The problem is AT, not problem. The person who doesn't fit is no. Why the fuck? Excuse me. Why would Hines Allen? Excuse my French, but that's not even the right style of play. Not that I don't like Hines Allen because she's fine, but
no. I could see Bonner going back to Phoenix.
Yeah, she can fit anywhere. AT does not fit.
That would just be a shitstorm of shit in Phoenix, though. God,
I can see her just want to end her career.
I can't wait.
Shit it up. I don't think it's anywhere both of them can go and it fits seamlessly.
They shouldn't go together. No. Test your relationship in different places.
It's not going anywhere that doesn't
somebody's gonna piss me off.
It's not going anywhere that doesn't have proper childcare.
Correct. So that means Phoenix is a hell no because they didn't even want to let Skylar do shit with that.
Oh, Seattle maybe, right? They got it if Jewel wants out.
Oh, damn.
Both of them could probably go there.
My hot take is that Minnesota misused Hines Allen late in the playoffs, which is why they lost.
They did stop using her for a little minute.
Because she was, bitch. Excuse me, D.
I talked to Big Mike. That's Rob. Never mind.
No, D. Look at what D said.
Do I
balling overseas, right?
DeWanna would fit in Seattle? Not necessarily, but Seattle has a good
No, that's not gonna work because if they having meetings with the coach that only half the players can go to, DeWanna not gonna like that.
Girl.
You know what?
She's
not my favorite, but what you call it? Like I told y'all before, could work in Atlanta too. Diamond. Not the Shields.
Girl.
Miller.
And she's not my favorite at all.
I wonder if Minnesota would trade her because I feel like
they don't like her.
She was out of the
rotation back to AP.
Just the cutter. I can see Cheryl trading for AP just to cut her. Like that's some petty shit Cheryl would do.
You talking shit on your YouTube? Okay, yeah.
Trade for her and cut her immediately.
That video of them on the same flight was hilarious,
bruh. I screamed.
It was the fact that AP dead ass kept recording.
Kept recording.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like she literally just kept recording. Like
it's y'all. Cheryl,
let's get uncomfortable.
We need to start the investigation. Cheryl has taken the last 5 drafts, gotten a good rookie, got a good season out of them, and the very next year, Crystal Dangerfield, Kiki, Diamond, Lord, it's a few in there that I'm missing. But every single rookie that she's drafted, she will have a good first year with them, and then after that first year, yeah, where the hell is Jessica Shepard?
Wasn't she like
Where's Maya Davis?
I think she's supposed to be coming back this year. I felt like she was dealing with like some injuries or something.
Rob, how did you get blocked, Rob?
Him the same day.
What did y'all do?
So remember when Kelsey, when the Lynx had played the Aces and all of them was there. It was Waylon, Brunson, Sylvia, and Simone. Maya was there. She was Kelsey was like, they're old. And so Cheryl didn't like Kelsey calling them old or whatever, saying that she was like felt like she was trying to call them washed or whatever. And then so afterwards, Cheryl came online. Came in the interview, whatever. I think it may have been with Holly, and she was like, "Oh, we're old, huh? We're old, huh?" So me and Rob like, Cheryl, you're just immature. That is a child. That is a child. Why are you talking about Kelsey Plum like that? Just being extra for no reason. Next thing you know, we blocked, and so that's when Rob started calling her Chevy.
Oh Lord!
Said she looked like a Chevy with a buzz.
BW asking about where the Zaya land. I don't know if we want.
Somewhere, maybe. I think as far as the injured players go, because I also saw that question too.
Kristen, Renaya.
I think they probably won't pop up on a roster this year, but with 2 new teams, possibly 3. I'm hoping 3, so we don't have to do like another expansion draft after this next one. But with possibly 3 new teams coming and maybe some additional roster spots with the new CBA.
Shay, you a shady motherfucker.
I really pressed the wrong button. I meant to press this.
Why you snatch it down so quick?
Because I pressed the wrong one. When it scrolls, it changes the thing.
No.
I mean, shit, D might be right too. Hell.
Well, yeah, I also hope that it was going to be that they announced this third team to also start in 2026 because having to go through expansion process again and then
like
the whole
3 years in a row, that would be
the new contract kicking in. It's like, damn, like come on, like just let's go ahead and get this settled and out the way.
So would the new contract be the same time? Like, would it go into effect the same time the next expansion draft is?
It'll go into effect 2026.
Okay. Because with possible more roster spots too, that's where I see a lot of those injured players or some players that might be overseas now that's been playing for a little minute. They might start filtering back to the W because there'll be way more roster spots to start filling in now. So,
yep. So imagine in 2026 you're gonna have at least 2 new teams, new rosters. And the last time the new CBA went into effect, they bumped the rookies' contracts up because Kiki and Ty and them were coming in a larger contract,
making more than Sil.
Yeah, making more than the previous players, and so they bumped them up to be competitive. So Angel and Camilla and them could very well see a bump in their contracts next year.
And Lord, I hope when the girlies walk in the room for the CBA, they ask for more roster spots. Because one thing Kathy gonna do is point them to that damn CBA every time they get mad. They was like, we need more roster spots. And Kathy was like, well, in the CBA, you motherfucking said 12.
Like, they agreed, and which is crazy to me, they agreed to the possibility of having more games, but not more roster spots. Like the whole extending the season is in the CBA. They agreed to the possibility of that, but kept the roster spots at 12. Go ahead and add 3 more spots, and then I think cap it at
That's
50
because
games.
they ain't have one give up their money.
50 games for a 16-team league, I think, is ideal.
I want inside of 16 league, I want 4-team conferences. That way we get 4 conferences and pull them in pods. That way we can start to build rivalries again in the W just a little bit more. Like I do.
Well, I like the whole just East versus West because
I like
East
West too, but I think this will help in terms of like
a mini conference within the conference, like
just so that
the conference.
Yes, that way we can start to develop those
like
I see this, I know them. Like every time we play the Sparks, this shit gonna be a good game.
So the Northeast Division, well, no, you had Northeast and then your Central. So I mean, I get it.
And then Atlanta would probably just go with either the Central, like the Midwest, or the South. Middle.
Yeah, they'll be by themselves.
That's why they need to put another team down here.
Yep,
they definitely do.
Man, they need to add one more team.
Like, come on.
Quit playing.
And it would allow, like, marketing wise, it would just, to me, it would make sense to like do 4 divisions inside of the conferences because you could really market more stuff based on the divisions and like get more merch out.
Yeah.
We appreciate you all for tuning in. We thank y'all. We're going to have some amazing things coming soon. We are excited for this final, well, not the final push, but to really get conference play underway. This past week has been exciting. So, yes, hopefully we see you all at the games out in public. Don't be afraid to show your pretty faces. And as always, thank you for listening. Thank us for speaking. Bye-bye.